Hey, I just wanted to get you started on how to work in this course, okay? So I'm starting off just to show you through a kind of a brief little tour of what the course is and how it's laid out. Starting here, and you can see that this is just the course home. We get there by going right up here. Now, this over here menu bar or this sidebar has some really good information for you. Let me see if I can close this so you have kind of an idea about what it all looks like when you start. You should start here, and in fact, after you've gone through this and maybe watched this little bit of entertainment fluff, and then you might make a note of some of the information I've written down here to be sure you can get in touch with me. For an example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can usually get in touch with me 1 to 4. You can, and I don't really care if that's Mountain or Standard or Pacific time. Basically, I'm never far from my phone or my computer, so you can just give me a holler either way you want to do it. Email is always a given. I'll get there, or you can call me or text me if you want to. All right. Then what I would do is proceed over here to the sidebar. General questions basically just kind of gives you some information and a space to get in touch with me if you need to again, or if you need to ask a general question. And then I would go straight to project start. Okay, I'll say straight, but let me point out academic expectations also. Academic expectations give you all kinds of things you probably ought to go through. What is expected of you in terms of attendance is right here, and this should come up. And it tells you basically how much time you're expected to spend in these classes. Now, I know sometimes you get bogged down and you've got life kind of interfering, and you'll find that it's really hard, but I think if you look ahead and understand that you're expected to spend X number of hours in the course a week, then plan for that. And now there are always ways to maybe shortcut that. But by the same token, some of these assignments may require a little more of you in terms of reading or writing. So give yourself time. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. All right. Then if you go back over here to Project Start, and that will bring you up here to basically an explanation to this little project and an introduction to the premise that we're doing. Now, this is kind of a fun thing, I think. This becomes a little bit of a game instead of just having to work hard. So we're introduced to our guy here, who's Dr. John Daniel, PhD, the Director of Cultural Preservation, and he talks to us a little bit about the need to do what it is this course is going to require you to do. Now, that'll get you in the swing of things, okay? It's like if you're playing a video game, you kind of have to know who your characters are. And basically, this kind of gets you in the character mode, if you will. So you want to start here. Go through this, watch the video, it's interesting, it's kind of fun, and then go to the project brief. Now, the project brief is really good because it explains what we call the milestones. Each of these are task specific. There'll be things you have to accomplish in order to progress through the course. It's just like hitting different levels in a game. If you do games, if you don't, it's just like, well, it's just like any progress. You have to do one task in order to get the next one, I guess. If you're going to have potato salad, you somewhere have to peel the potatoes or cook the potatoes and then cut them up. So you have specific orders that you want to go through. Each milestone is kind of broken down for you by dates, and we're fairly specific about that. Now go back to your academic expectations, and you'll get some feelings about, yeah, that's really what they want me to do if this doesn't make sense. Or go back up to general questions or shoot me an email. You know, I'm not sure I understand it, but the dates are here, and what I'm trying to get around to telling you is that basically you need to be very aware of these dates and try to meet them. Don't get behind, because all of a sudden it'll eat your lunch. All right. So if you'll see milestone 1, and usually this is about a week to do milestone 1. First of all, you're going to meet the team, and it tells you how when you get over here in milestone 1, and then you're going to have that's due on Monday. On Wednesday, there's a discussion, and on Sunday, looks like you need to have a submission. Now, the submissions will give you directions about how to do all that too. That's due on this particular date. Now, if this doesn't apply to your term, then of course your dates are going to be different here, but this is just an explanation. All right. Then it has milestone 2, and it tells you again what you're going to be doing over there. So this is a good roadmap. You want to know where you're supposed to be. It's maybe week 2. You better go down here and see what you should be doing. Like I said, your dates will be different when you get down to that. Now, milestone 1, right down here over in the sidebar, brings up all this stuff. Now, where you see these little asterisks, you don't see those. Those are in the teacher's manual, not in yours. And it's nothing more than, it kind of gives us it's a place for us to put notes. This is what I want to cover. This is what I want to emphasize. And I'll try to kind of slip into character every once in a while. But right now, I just want to explain to you, my team members, right? Okay. Milestone 1 starts with learning activities. Gives you this little thing. It tells you a little bit about what you're going to try to do this week or under this milestone, and it gives you some activities for this. All right, here are your learning activities, and when you want to get to those after you read about this, and this goes on, it tells you about what the competencies are and what your tasks are and how far it wants you to go and all that. And then the very last one, if you'll see right here, is a submission. And this tells you about the submission, and this is a Dropbox submission. Dropbox, if you look up here, Dropbox is right there, and that's another thing. They'll give you a tutorial on that, or I'll help you, or we'll talk more about it as we get there. All right, you go to learning activities then. Now, I can't tell you how important your learning activities are going to be. They're easily set up. You've got, you click on this, it takes you to a site where you get a little bit of information on writing as a discovery process. Click on this and you go to identifying art forms and subject matter, and then anatomy of a caption. So you've got several ones here that you're supposed to do, and you need to go through them all. And you may want to go back, and some of them are longer than others. This takes about 20 minutes, and you can see where they're required. All of these, if it's required, that means it's going to come up somewhere either in these tasks or in your submission. So it's worth the time just to know what's there. Then you can come back and look at them as you start to prepare your tasks or your submissions, okay? Then the tasks overview, that just kind of gives you a bit of a introduction. It's telling you basically what you have to do this week. And on this week it's meet the team, and if you click here you go somewhere else and it tells you a little bit more about getting that together. Meeting the team, what you need to do, introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, what degree or interest you have, what you do that maybe is not related to the course. And if you have an artwork, I put a painting of mine. If you've got an artwork, put it down there. Just kind of let's just let everybody know right where we are and where we're coming from. So anyway, you do task 1. Task 1, just getting back to, gives you all this information, and that basically, if you go down, let's see if I can get this down there so you can see what we're doing. Well, I can't. Down here underneath all this, there's a little thing for a response. You click on that, and I have posted, do not post your submission here. That means this submission. But do go down to this, hit respond, and do go ahead and reciprocate or respond to this discussion here. All right. Then second task will come up right here, so you go to that next. And if you'll notice, under task 1, there was also a place down here. So when you finish this, when you respond, and I'm sorry that you can't see it because it's down on the bottom of this page, but down here, if you went down, is a response button, and you'd respond to that. All right. Then when you finish, you'd go to milestone 1, task 2, or you can go over here. It doesn't really matter. And then you go to this one, and it tells you what you're going to have to do when you get there. Okay, my internet's taking a little bit of a while to get there. I'm just going to go over here and click and see if it's any faster. Yeah, it is. So art discussion is what they want you to do, and read what you're supposed to do. And it'll tell you right here what they want you to do. If you don't quite get it, like how am I supposed to use this, click here. If you don't know how to paste and copy from a PC, click here. If you want to check your grade book, because look what's coming up. grading rubrics. This tells you how I look at your work and assign points. And in my grade book, I'll try to be very specific. For an example, if I don't think that maybe the topic was addressed, in this particular case, if I don't think that you do what they want you to do down here, which is, I think, yeah, right here, talk about what art is, how you would evaluate works of art, for an example, and did you give me links or images, then I might take points off if I don't think you quite did that right. If I think you did it great, then you'll get full points, of course. And I'm pretty lenient, but if it's just glaringly apparent to me that you didn't spend time or you didn't answer that question, especially where we're talking about things here, because I'm hoping everybody reads everybody else's submissions up here. The real submission in this milestone down here that's called submission will be private. That will go to the Dropbox and only I'll read that. But under these, I want you to read what other people write, especially one where we get to meet each other, because that'll be fun too. Anyway, then when you get to submission, which is kind of where we are, I think. No, there we are. When you do that, it's going to ask you to read through this, choose an artwork from the list, and the list is down here. Choose one of these artworks, and then up here, I hope I'm not making you seasick, up here it says to decode it. Now if you want to decode it on its caption, you'll go back to learning activities, and it tells you to do that, and it tells you what a caption is. As it turns out, I'll give you a boost on this one. The caption is the information that goes with the title. It gives you who the artist is, it gives you the date it was completed, tells you what it is, this is the media, and it tells you where it is. So you should probably go here and click on it. But then, as it asks you to do up here, include that information when you're writing something about it. Briefly decode and identify. That means you got to know that caption. So you can read that off and repeat what this is. And there may be something in here that says to give us that image. Be sure you give us the image. Yeah, select an artwork. Note this art. Okay, you don't have to. It looks like you don't have to present the artwork here. If you did and you didn't know how, then you'd probably want to come in here and check this out. Okay. So anyway, this is the grading rubric, and it's clear, I hope, down there. When you finish all that, and you've got your discussion already, you're going to go down to the bottom here, and you're going to tell a little bit about, maybe you think this was an interesting piece, or maybe you want to know where in the world they got this idea, or does anybody know anything about this? Well, then go ahead and give us what you think down here. But then your submission, your paper you're writing, your essay, that is on a document right here, and it's named this way: submission, milestone 1, submission underscore your last name underscore your first name, and then go up here to Dropbox, click, and you'll upload it in that Dropbox for submission for milestone 1. Okay, and then it even gives you a caption. If you don't want to go up here, you can click that box there, and that'll take you to the Dropbox. Okay, if you don't know how to do a Dropbox, how to use the Dropbox right there. Click on that. Okay, so we're trying to cover all the bases and make this pretty clear. You've done all this, you submitted it, let's say. Go to begin milestone 2. This should take you to the milestone right here, and if it takes a while, you can always go over here and click. All right, and this is the overview, just like in milestone 1. It starts with an overview, takes you through what it is you'll be learning this milestone, tells you what some of the activities will be, and then under milestone 2, it also gives you, if I can get the thing to go up, and I can, oh yeah, here we go. Sorry, just ignore the phone. It also gives you milestone 2, learning activities. So the next thing you would do is click on these, and again, it gives you these little things. And see, they give you some time. This should take about 7 minutes or 10 minutes. Now, if you're getting phone calls like I just did, it may take a little longer, of course, but you can do that kind of thing. Anyway, these are the learning activities. Then this will give you, under Tasks Overview, it'll give you a little breakdown again. In this milestone, these are the 3 things you're going to do. And then it will take you down to where those milestones are. task 1, task 2, and submission. And you'll go to those and click them just like we did milestone 1. Well, there'll be more things that I'll tell you about, but I thought this might be a good thing to do to kind of get you started. Thanks for being here, and I hope this is going to be fun for you.